a high-level military liaison between the Pentagon and NASA. I'm here as a anonymous whistleblower to tell everyone that what happened on April the 8th was not an eclipse. What happened on April the 8th was called Project Pegasus. It's been in the planning for years. What occurred, if not an eclipse, since the moon was beside the sun during it and not crossing it, and also it's turbulent, Pisces. The whole thing is ridiculous, and that's how much credit the government gives all of you, because they'll do something that blatantly wrong, inaccurate, just impossible, and yet they know that Americans, they'll be called conspiracy theorists if they even bring it up. So they do it, and they don't even care. Okay, so what did they do if there wasn't an eclipse? The biggest thing you have to realize is the coincidence, which was no coincidence, of CERN being turned on that day.
It is near impossible to explain or understand for most of us, but monumental nonetheless.
CERN was turned back on that day, and immediately after it was turned on, this is what appeared in the sky above CERN in Switzerland on the 8th. A literal portal was created above CERN, and this was actually predicted, which is one reason why it was filmed by many people who were in the know. But ever since they discovered the Higgs boson in 2012, the God particle, that's when all of this contact began to occur.
Using a particle accelerator, believe they have found the subatomic particle known as the Higgs boson, otherwise known as the God particle. There you have it.
Because this whole thing of Project Pegasus was about CERN. Through its experiments with the God particle and particle acceleration in general, they achieved quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon when, by working at the quantum level and getting to the true incredible energy of particles, once they combine or collide, there was something that occurred where the quantum entanglement manifested in a being emerging from another dimension, another alien being that emerged. Through that, this was a couple years ago, through that introduction, through that communication, three governments got involved in a negotiation that occurred in a very bizarre way, because it didn't actually happen in person. I'm not going to waste time explaining how the negotiations happened, but between Russia, China, and America, they dealt with this species, and this species offered a deal. And the deal was that we would be given something if they were allowed to come here to Earth and basically set up a secret base. What did we get, and what's their secret base about? Okay, I'll just quickly tell you. What we got was AI. Think about it. Didn't AI emerge out of nowhere 2023? And didn't it emerge, not just out of nowhere, in an incredibly mature, sophisticated level of complexity that kind of makes sense for a new technology? And even now, 1 year into it, a year and a half into it, whatever we're at, it's getting scary what it can do. It's indistinguishable from reality in some cases. Okay, so that's where we're at 2 years into AI, and that's because AI, like a lot of our technology, like the microchip and other things that we got from Roswell and the Grace, this is another technology from another higher level species. And let me just add this, for those who think that AI is about making funny pictures or interesting videos and stuff, sure, it can do that, and that is the consumer-facing end of this technology. But if you knew the intent of AI in terms of how it will impact your everyday life very soon, you might take a gun to your head and blow your brains out. It is that radical of a shift what the government intends to do with this shiny toy called AI. That's what we got. In return, they got basically the southern half of Antarctica, below the South Pole. And that is what, let me, first things first, what the hell happened if not an actual eclipse? Well, a couple things. Number one, they required, in order to do this, and when I say do this, the event to happen on the 8th was the alien species coming through to our dimension. In order to come through, they required a few things. Number one, they required loosh. What is loosh? Loosh is the energy expended and exhibited by human beings when they are collectively excited and focused on something, like at a rock concert or during church or something like that.
Oh, it's emotional. I can't explain why, but it is. We had tears, we had screams, we had fireworks.
So by having so much of the planet looking up at a certain time of day and everybody giving their attention and their emotions to it, which, by the way, if you watch some videos, you had newscasters crying.
It just took my breath away, the whole thing.
That was a bit odd that they were crying, and the reason they were crying was because it was an incredibly emotional thing, because the aliens made it so. The aliens made it so because the energy created or received from the loosh, and again, I've defined what loosh is.
Whoa, look at that! What's that all about?
That loosh energy, coupled with the energy of the sun, allowed them at the time of the quote-unquote eclipse for their mothership, which is what that circle was. It wasn't a moon. Their mothership came out of nowhere, entered into the area of the sun, stopped. Did you notice how it stopped for an inordinate amount of time in the center when it should have been continuing at the very slow crawl rate that the moon typically does? Well, it didn't. It stayed there for a bit of time. And that's insane, okay? That's another blatant giveaway. And again, the government thinks that no one's going to notice, or if they notice, they'll be branded a conspiracy theorist, and they don't care. So they just allowed it to happen. This ship basically connected with the sun at that moment and got an incredible amount of physical energy required for them to enter through the dimension. Coming in from another dimension takes an incredible amount of energy. The sun and our loosh did that. At that point, the ship went around the back of the sun. Did you notice that we didn't see anything depart? It just sort of disappeared into the sun. Well, it kind of did. It went around to the back, and it all actually docked there where it is at this moment that I speak. What happened next? Well, from that energy, from that loosh, from that focus, from that also that actual hydrogen-based nuclear energy it got from the sun, it was able to send a massive amount of ships and individuals of their race to the Earth into an area just north of the Antarctic base that they're going to take over. The waves, if you look at the waves stuff, the things that happened on the wave map during that time, okay?
April 9th, 2024, the day after the solar eclipse, something terrifying lurked off the coast of Antarctica. Radar systems detected a monstrous wave anomaly, an area larger than Texas with 80-foot waves. The anomaly moved up towards South Africa. At the same time, Cape Town witnessed a horrifying sight. The ocean receded dramatically, as if dragged away by some unseen force. Beaches were left exposed, waves vanished. What really happened? A glitch in the system? A creature? Or something yet to be seen?
And they had the audacity to tell the public it was a glitch. It wasn't a glitch because there is tons of video and evidence of people in South Africa running from, mini tsunami level waves that were created by these ships becoming USOs, going underwater. And from doing that and establishing themselves there, they were able to then make their move to the southern part of Antarctica. They also took animals.
We're going to talk to Jason about some of the changes that we've heard. Birds making more noises.
And it
It's fun to see all the animals act up.
Anything you noticed with the animals as we were sitting back there just a minute ago?
They get very active now. The fish were jumping out of the water a lot.
Animals were a big part of the deal. Of course, taking humans was off the table from our governments, but they allowed that animals to be taken, and animals reacted weirdly during this quote-unquote eclipse. Also, the government is presently asking for reports of animal behavior because they know exactly what's going on and they want to know how it affected them. The reason why there was disasters declared and all the National Guard and all that was because the government doesn't know if they can trust these people, okay? They're still getting to know them, and we didn't know what would happen, really. We were told the government's with them, and we have it all on paper. I mean, I have packets of reports about what we were told by this species of what happened, but we had to be prepared in case it got crazy, in case something went off script, in case there was some Asia. I mean, we had to prepare for the worst because we did know if we could trust. I think the craziest secret that I have to divulge, though, about this whole thing is that the 2 rockets that NASA shot on the 8th, coincidentally, to quote-unquote observe what was the official narrative. Well, guess what, people? It was half true. They were shot up there to observe, but there happened to be actually 4 astronauts in those rockets, 2 in each. And they rendezvoused with the mothership because those astronauts are part of an exchange program that we initiated with these species. And it's actually 3 men and 1 woman, are going to be going, well, the first to them on the mothership for, I think, at least 2 years is what's scheduled. And then back to the home planet, which I'm not comfortable divulging the location of their home planet yet. It looks like we can trust them for the time being. Everything went as planned. And again, the fact is that the public doesn't have a frickin' clue that what they just witnessed was essentially the first incursion, I call it an incursion, of a alien race onto our sovereign, planet, and they now have a piece of it. And what they do next, we have no idea.